Mizuki free. It is the title that I think many creators will put because effectively Mizuki will be free because it will go to the permanent on September 28th anniversary of Genshin Impact where give us a free character to choose from the permanent. But apart from all that, Mizuki is the new healer Anemo character who goes to mastery and who can also be outside or inside the field and make in many roles, mainly the Taser Sucrose, and we already have all the gameplays of Hot Mizuki because of the live stream that has been interesting, and the least considering that we already know that the 5.4 was going to be a little bit of wild stuff after a very intense 5.3, and today we're going to review and see the whole kit fully well explained so that you know what Mizuki does. Whether someone is thinking of throwing in their first and last promotional banner officer, or if anyone has ganitas that Mizuki will later come out in the permanent, so leave a good like, a good ulti, bandit, subscribe, leave a good comment, the first thing for enjoy, and watch the video that you thank him for all the affection support. Remember that it does not cost you. Nothing is free to recommend and position the video, and once a day there is a free blessing draw. Just for commenting on how to like and subscribe with bell to this video and everyone in the channel. Go check out the old videos that you haven't seen because on the set is the winner of the Bendy, and the more you interact with all videos of the channel included short and the secondary channel, more chance of winning than if you're eating. Thank you, leave me the comments then. You do while watching the videos or you're eating while you watch the video, welcome. Invited to the directs, and we go with the complete kit of Mizuki as well. We start with the weapon. The weapon is rare, but not so rare as a Master's weapon. Master's weapon. Master's degree will do Nahida or Sucrose well if it will very possibly come to him. Well, to Sidley in the end, to Chero Mastery, all that does is give him better shield, which would help Sidley if you had Cone from Sidley that gives you more mastery stacks. Damage inflicted, but mainly this weapon is for Mizuki. The weapon gives us 540 base attacker, 264 Master's Degree, just like Nahida's weapon, just like Sidley's passive weapon. The Elementary Master's Degree increases by 120 as free gift for 6 seconds after activating a whirlwind. That is to say, here they took out it would activate it Nahida and Sidley, for example, not unless there is an Anemo in the field, and make that with a basic cryo, for example, from Sidley jump a whirlwind. Nahida does not go to activate it because it's inside, then says Elementary Mastery, increases another 96 points after that. The elementary ability hits the opponent, this is going to be able to activate it a lot of characters. And then the plus the Elementary Mastery increases by 32 points after 30 seconds of that, during 30 seconds forgiveness that the carrier hit with the ulti is basically that of the elemental. And the ulti will be able to activate it as a lot of characters. The one from the whirlwind only Sucrose to Zuction full taser, but it comes with wonders also. And if you notice, it gives you 260 plus 120 is 380 plus. Another 30 are about 410 plus the other 100 are 500, almost 510, that gives you the Master's weapon. But it only gives you mastery, gives you almost 510 mastery, but only that for Sucrose, like that for Nahida, almost as well if you don't have Nahida's gun. This gun for Nahida, in case anyone gets out of there crazy, pulling the other gun can be good with this gun. You know what the Mizuki function, more or less Mizuki in summary. Now I do you to explain the skills, but basically already is a catalyst and Nemo healer that boofa whirlwinds and goes mastery the subject of all. It's basically going to remind you how I say Jean or Shanyun. The difference is that Jean and Sayonyun, they have Homer healing the Vestia, and Mizuki is the opposite. Mizuki is a character that provides healing the character in the field, like Kukishinobu, or like Bennett means a more limited heating than has a little less synergy, for example with Fiorina, but with the rest of normal characters. Because it's a heating to the character in the field can also be to herself if she's in the field and aside. The differentiation you have with Xianyan and Jean is that it gives a bonus to whirlwind damage not only of her but of the whole team in providing her elementary mastery, and remember that the whirlwind is a reaction that uses only 2 values to execute the character level and mastery of the character who executes the whirlwind, i.e. If Mizuki, with his weapon, plus his same ascension of Natara mastery by raising levels such as Kazuya or Xianyun, who ascend with mastery or Magia more carrying the triple mastery, more getting flowers and feathers of much mastery, is the character who has the ability to achieve the highest mastery of the whole game, with which the whirlwinds that she herself executes both on and off the field now. I talk about all this going to be the highest whirlwind climbing of the game, no longer just for the mastery that is the character with it. More mastery, or that more total mastery potential can achieve, but takes advantage of your... This is basically what it means to get out of the field, because this is... Roll, I tell you, can make it decent now. I'll talk to you, because the reaction that more synergy has with the whirlwinds is the electrocharge, then able to go to enter some equipment. Electrocharged, and among them, as I explained in the build of Lanjan, as a sort of sucrose. Tied up, but with steroids, she's basically going to be better than the sucrose herself on the team. The one being inside the field, i.e. Mizuki, in the field as kind of no, but for you to understand it, but it's called more an enable, a driver, an activator in Spanish. And she's gonna be in the field, but she's got whirlwinds with her normals and her elementals. You can reset if you go with sacrifices apart from your weapon, then this is a little what we understand. That makes Mizuki mainly the synergy greater than the whirlwinds, as I say, are the electrocharged. Considering that Auroron has already come out to benefit a little bit more, the electrocharged and combinations of hydros and electros general well now. What does the kit really do well? Has a slightly more decent scale, the truth sincerely its scale of normal attacks, and other is decent, but in case of this variant, I have said to play it in the field, the whirlwinds, that they block because their normal attacks are a Nemo and they will make whirlwinds, and there are more elements. Whirlwind, as I said, the damage comes from the mastery of the character level with which to raise the attack. Normally, even if it is played in the field, and even if it has a decent climbing, rather better than Lanjan either. It's nothing important, your normal. Loaded attacks are going to make no difference to you unless you find one. How many characters skip the ICD, and the ICD is that sometimes once every 3 hits you can do a reaction, and maybe if you do 3 normals, you make a whirlwind every normal 3, and maybe there's a combo doing loads to jump the ICD, and make more whirlwinds. I don't know. We don't know. And we'll test it. This is very technical. Don't worry. Well able there, if you do some load that has a good climb, maybe you have to climb, but in principle the normal attack would go up in the whirlwinds if you played in field doing attack. Normal, a mastery and level of character, not of talent scaling, with which in principle. And even if you can play in the field, I don't think you should go up the normal attacks. Don't worry, as nothing of the other world and climbing is decent, unlike, for example, as I say of Lanyan, which is also a Nemo and Catalyst, and could do this work in elementary skill field. Elemental skill. This is very complex, very curious, and also benefits time. I mean, really. And as you see here in the gameplays, because a spectacularly fast amount of whirlwinds the gameplay time in the field is, with its elemental ability. And in fact, it can be extended to 10 seconds of use, and it has cooldown of 15. The ulti also has cooldown of 15. I mean, he's got Arconte's cooldowns. This thing we were talking about for some kind of electrocharged. 15 of Fischl, Fiorina, Mitsuki, and something else out there. Floats, just as you are hearing it, unicorns and butterflies, and enemies that are certain distance you will receive a hit from a Nemo that will make you a whirlwind. This is curious, it is fun, and it does generate many whirlwinds. Whirlwind, very fast, very fast. Initially, here the cooldown is, i.e. the use is of 5 seconds, but then there's an Ascension talent that allows you to expand 2.5 seconds, 2 stacks. Even if you take him to sacrifice and your elementary skill resets, this will be able to extend even not 20 seconds of use, but at least 15 seconds of use. Used to have full uptime if you don't have his weapon that gives you a lot of mastery and you play with the sacrifice book, which is what will mainly be played in it if you don't have his weapon, and if you want to play it mainly inside the field. If it is out of the field, it will be elementary ulti as, or if you have sacrifice, elementary, ulti, and out, basically. Now, damage to the ability casting 100% scaled, not very bad. Attack damage, continuous 80%. Many hits and very fast. You will be seeing it here on screen by the livestream gameplays. But scaling is 80%. Scaling is really bad too, but logically, as triple mastery, this doesn't matter to you. And then, increase the damage of Whirlpool 0.45 points. This is a decent thing, it's not crazy. It's not that you're going to see a whirlwind of 500,000, for example, but like the whirlwinds with according to which characters are played, a number of hits, very fast, very abundant, many hits, that increase of extra damage too. Whirlwind, more as I explained to you at the beginning of the video, is the only and first character with a greater total scaling of potential mastery, because it's going to make you have spectacular damage. Increased damage says, increased damage to the storm reaction caused by the characters close to the team based on the elementary mastery of herself. That is to say she itself, or the character in the field. This, as speculation, can also give rise to characters. Xiao, Haizu, or Scaramouche. Poila. I see here those who will tell me, really I shall continue to be better on his regular shiny on Bennett, Faruzan team, or putting Furina in all. And Scaramouche more of the same, will continue to be better with his team. Bennett, Faruzan Cheeks, and lastly Zhongli, more defensive or Furina more aggressive. And Haizo, little more of the same, your team from One Punch Haiju, which is Haiju, Faruzan, Furina, Bennett, that is also rotation minus Faruzan. The rest of the team, rotation of 15. The same will remain Haizo on his core team. This allows Anemo carries to have an extra variant, but of course the Torbellino damage goes with mastery. With which it would have to be to play a Scaramouche or a rare triple mastery Haizu for T. I don't think so, but you'll see something strange. In my opinion, this is not going to benefit Scaramouche and Haizu, but there'll be evidence, there'll be teams, and there'll be videos, and maybe I'll try to do something weird too. Saying how Mizuki supports that, a Scaramouche or a Haizu who are catalysts. If I also put in a lot of whirlwinds, but this I don't think benefits them mainly. That's the elementary one, it has no more. It's this state that activates the Torbellino's bonus, which also the Elemental gives you 5 seconds. Plus the Ascension talent reaches 10 seconds and 15 cooldown, with this bonus to the whirlwinds of the whole team included herself. Many multi-hits, that is. I can tell that it's made for her to look like she's in the field. Not like I say, doing the grossa taza, but with her in the field instead of that expensive. Ultimate. This is what heals. The memories of countless dreams, a lot of text, a few clouds of cotton, thus more butterflies, and yeah. This character is that style, and those little clouds have 2 effects. If the character in the field has 70% of his life, effectively, if you have more than 70% of your life, the little cloud explodes and makes a whirlwind in the area. If the character in the field has less than 70% of his life, just like Bennett, then the little cloud can be picked up and cured with the character in the field. Does it spread a lot of little clouds? Yes. The area of the cloud is both to explode and to heal you. To pick it up is big, it's decent. You have to go a little behind the little clouds and this... It may hurt more or less. If you play the Mizuki herself, who has her ability, Elementary. This is the one you float in a cloud and the area of casting whirlwinds in very fast area is something big too. With herself combines well because you're going to move in the field. You're going to play another character with Mizuki Soporte. If that character is melee, I mean he needs. Hit the enemy very close, it's gonna bother you getting close to the little clouds if they didn't spawn just it. What is this for? Well, for people to understand that Mizuki herself is for. It's just that it literally looks like a character made for this thing that I told you. From playing in the field with electro-loaded equipment with off-field support. Fisher, Furina, Auroron, for example, and things like that. And let Mizuki then do hers to stay with them. The little cloud of the elemental running around and picking up clouds and, well... Do you remember the Rainbow Poke meme? Mizuki, Ton, harm of the ability to cast, talent 10, 169%, very low. As I say, it's from Torbellino, not from scaling, damage from every shockwave in case it explodes. Cloudy, 127%, very low. Regeneration of life when collecting the cloud, 235% of mastery plus 700, that is talent 10. It is a good cure, it is a pretty good cure, considering that, without his weapon you can reach more than 1000 Master's Degree. So they're 2,300 ticks, and it's like, Bennett, so the ticks? A little while you've got 2,300 ticks, you're already full of life. And it's not going to be 3 ticks of clouds, it's going to be a lot of ticks. Or D60 of energy medium. To be in the field, in fact, Itan's pretty good. You are not going to have to. And in fact, that Karoza costs 80 and requires a lot. Hey, I'm 15, as you see, it's the mental and it's ultimate. Cooldowns match a lot for him to stay in the field. Talents. The first talent of Ascension, when she's on your team and your team characters use a meal that doesn't work. To revive, there's a certain possibility that its effects will be potentiated by 30%. That is the talent passive, this one that serves no purpose, for open world that we never read and never use. First talent of Ascension, the normal one, the one that affects. When Mizuki creates a whirlwind while is in the state of sailing dreams, that is, when you are in your state of ability. Elementary being in the field, because when you leave you get out of the field, that state is deactivated. The duration of your elemental status increases 2.5 seconds, once every 0.3, and can occur twice. Maximum for every elementary skill. That is, with your own weapon you can be 10 seconds in the field. Because I had 5 base plus 2.5 times 2. 5 plus 10 seconds. Sacrifices say that this is activated once by every state of sailing dreams. With Sacrifice, you'll activate the elemental twice, so you can actually stay up to 20 seconds in the field. If you want to play a taser free to play between quotes of Mizuki Sacrifice, with Shinkyu having 20 seconds of cooldown, with Baidu having 20 seconds of cooldown. All the Baidu's activated with loads in Shinkyu too, so better take Farina. And I think that she won't activate because in her condition that I think you won't be able to give normals, just like that you spin around with the little cloud will have to prove it. And I sum up that basically that talent is so that you have 10 seconds of elementary skill and you're ready. Find themselves in a state of sailing dreams when other members of the nearby team beat an enemy with an attack, pyro, hydro, cryo, or electro. Any element that reacts with the anemo. I mean, maybe also this way being a kind of a field anemo that makes whirlwinds. It can also benefit teams outside the field. I know, overload though, as it is. Anemo is not going to play Shabruz, but perhaps for more variants apart from only Electro cards. Mizuki's own mastery increases 100 points for seconds, but you can activate all as many times as you want, with which you're always going to have an extra 100 Master's Degree. 100, 200, 300, 400, just that. You'll have 100 all the time active because you reset the V. Cooldown of 4 seconds all the time, and that's it. More mastery for whirlwinds in the field. It's basically for that, it's for me to be in the field. More interesting since the constellations, as it is permanent, because in the end, we will end. After a few years, or if we throw a lot at the banner, maybe having a Mizuki with constellations. In my case, I have the Tignari C5, the Monachis, the Chi C3, and Jin. I think it was C4 that came out agon. Leave me in the comments which is your 5-star permanent with the most constellations. But here interesting because being permanent, I repeat, at some point and depending on luck and of the account, these constellations can be used. First, when Mizuki is found, in state dreams navigating elementary top ability continuously applies a new effect to the close enemies for 3 seconds every 3.5 seconds, practically continuous. Enemy is affected by the whirlwind reaction caused by damage anemo. This effect will cancel and the damage of such a whirlwind reaction against the enemy increases a quantity AI equivalent to 900% of elementary mastery. Okay, the Cone is a very strong hit every 3.5 seconds. A very strong hit, 900% of the Master's Degree. Considering that you will have 1000 Master's Degree, Cone is a very strong hit every 3.5 seconds. Being carry, it has to be carry because it has to be in the state of Dream Navigators. It's kind of a carry in the field. C2O, when entering State Dream Navigators, every elementary Master's Point Mizuki has increases a 0.04. The damage bonus Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, and Electro from all other members close to the team until the state of Navegas Dreams is finished. This is also crazy because you're going to reach quietly if you have your gun over 1500 Masters. Master's Degree is more than 60% elementary damage bonus to the entire team, and with 1000 Master's Degree is 40%. Zoi's Katsuha, isn't it? This is crazy, the C2, eh? What happens is that she alone will enable a new one. Goal, as I said in other videos, that it would be like a whirlwind goal, that I explained it in others. Well, there will be a Mizuki goal of 80,000 characters out of the field who do things basically, and the attack doesn't matter, I mean. You're not going to play a Beneath Sheen Link with Mizuki, but he's curious, huh? A 1000 Master's Degree 40 elemental damage to the entire team, as long as it's Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, and Electro. That reacts with Anemo. At 1500 Master's Degree, 60% elemental damage to the entire team. Strong 4. Be a C2. From a permanent, if it goes permanent. Elementary plus 3, the C3. Last 3 to C5, the C4 Tartani. When picking up a candy, that is the ultimate when it heals you, the character. Inflict damage, perform healing and restore 5 points of energy to Mizuki Aoka. That is by collecting a sweet if Mizuki does or if any other character on the team does in case Mizuki plays outside the field. You can only subtract elemental energy in this way 4 times while the walk. The ulti, 12 seconds of ulti just like beneath. That has 12 seconds. 5 of energies by 4 is Ixon, 20 of energy. The C4 is to give you 20 of you. Energy to the Mizuki itself with cost of 60, which passes at cost of 40, or to the character in field. If it is a C4 that is finally permanent, it is strong too. That is, it contributes, it is interesting. And the cheek said, while Mizuki was sailing dreams, the whirlwind damage inflicted by the characters close to the team, including her, can assist critics with a fixed rate of 30 probability. And 100% damage. See, the cheeks translates into that the whirlwinds of the equipment, mainly from Mizuki in the field, mainly being able to combine with the cone, which every 3.5 seconds makes you a whirlwind with a damage that makes no sense. 1 in 3 whirlwinds does twice as much damage. The cheese 1 in 3 whirlwinds will do twice as much damage, and if you have the great luck and gotcha, that 1 in 3 whirlwinds coincides with the strong whirlwind cone, which is a very strong whirlwind every 3.5 seconds. Maybe if you see a whirlwind, but 200,000 or 300,000 is not so much considering that Mabuiga has just entered. In many accounts more than 1 million, and considering that it is only with the sheiks of 5 stars. But it is a support dedicated to whirlwinds, final conclusions, that surely goes. Green Shadow or Triple Mastery, because Green Shadow, besides giving you that low resistance, if you haven't read the Green Shadow gives you more slipstream damage. You can play off the field to make it some kind of Bennett Rollgill, especially with a C2 to blow that elementary year of the team, but I don't think it does any better than Jin, or that. Xianyun and Yigadio. I think mainly, even if I can do the function outside the field, and possibly. The Gavian to C2. She is made to be in the field, though cured and all, she is made for be within the field and have 3 elemental supports of whatever, which reapply element. Mainly, and in my opinion, I think it will be mostly electrocharged. But as it matches well with the rest of the team, it could also be a permafrost with a carry, Anemo, and you can play Ganyu off the field, Rosaria off the field, Fiorina off the field, because as she in the field heals herself, she activates the passive healing of Fiorina too. Rest of the team, when you heal with the character in the field, although it has to reach the maximum of life to activate that passive, and she heals up to 70%, with which good. But she has good combinations, mainly I say for me, I think you will play electrocharged by whirlwinds, and reapplication in area and such, but as it has a whirlwind reaction with 4 elements, maybe you can play overload equipment, steaming equipment, and play a hydro, a pyro, and another thing out there, a hydro, an electro, a pyro. And for example, you play Fischl, a hydro, like Fiorina, and then Mavuika and Mavuika out of the field make more vaporized, electrocharged, i.e. more overload, and that also activates the parchment set on the electro and the electro. Hydro by making the super vaporized, which is the reaction on the 2 elements. That is the mechanics. Mizuki is making teams around Mizuki, where Mizuki is in the field distributing whirlwinds, and activating the shadow of the elements from outside the field, and who comes to have the C2 as it activates. That's 60% elemental damage to the rest of the team. Basically, that turns Mizuki a house a character in the field, but it's not a carry, that's what I said at the beginning, a driver, an enabler, Super vaporized, overloaded, and electrocharged, depending on the equipment you play. This is Mizuki. Little more and the weapon will be played free to play sacrifice and his weapon who gets his gun. Take care of yourself, have a very good day. This is Mizuki's kit. I hope you enjoy it very much. Character. Let me in the comments who's going to throw for it. It's curious, and it's extra versatility. It's nothing broken, or it's not gonna be in the top of the best teams, but it's gonna be fun for sure. Take care of yourself, have a good day. See you next video. Good morning, I don't know, my little boy, and bye.